Hey everyone, Jamie Makes here for Miss Paper, and today I'm sharing the process of creating a 12 by 12 layout about how one company I worked for celebrated Halloween. They do it big every year, y'all. I use the new Strange and Unusual stamp set from Everyday Explorer Co., which is now available in the shop.
So I'm really excited to work with the Strange and Unusual stamp set by Carrie Stiles that is available this October 2021 in the Everyday Explorers shop. I thought it was really just a fun, versatile stamp set. And I don't have a lot of Halloween photos to work with. Like, we don't really do much personally, myself and my husband. But where I used to work at a software company, they did Halloween like crazy. So every floor would have its own theme, and you'd walk around to all the various floors throughout the day. And it was just fun to decorate your own space and then to go see what everyone else is decorating. So I loved this part of working at the software company. And so these are photos from 2017, 18, and 19. And I have never scrapbooked about any of this, even though it is, perfect to use alongside any Halloween products. I think because I've been hoarding, I don't know, maybe I've been hoarding these photos because I know that I don't have very many Halloween photos to go to, so I haven't dove in. I don't know. I don't know. We don't need to examine the psychology behind why I haven't scrapbooked these. But I thought it'd be really great to go with this and to just use like kind of a main group photo of us to talk about that experience of how they do Halloween at this particular company. So what really triggered the idea for this page was this one stamp that says Ghoul Gang. I just thought that was so cute and fun, and I think it'd be great to go with these photos because it is a total group effort to put these incredibly elaborate spaces together. And like, I don't know if you can see down here, but like the entire floor is covered with what we used were red tablecloths, and actually outside the building at nighttime our entire floor was red because we had covered all of the lighting in there. So that was kind of fun to be driving home late at night after having set stuff up and to look back up the building and see that only our floor had these red lights on them because we had gone a little bit crazy. But anyway, this is just super fun for me. So I will be utilizing these 3 photos that I printed out and assembled on some white cardstock to make it look somewhat like a photo strip. I played around with a few ideas for how I was going to put this together, and this is the design that I've kind of settled on. So you see that it has the photos in a photo, not a photo grid. What is that called? Photo strip, I guess, is what the word I'm saying, or trying to use there. And then I want to stamp some of these ghouls, the ghosts, directly onto the background. I'm planning to do some stamping with that Ghoul Gang stamp, this guy, and I want to just stamp it all over just a plain piece of cardstock, and then run that cardstock through my digital die cutting machine and use those as the title. I also had this idea to use lots of just different sheets of pattern paper and cardstock all together at the bottom, just to add, some color to the page and more texture. I don't know, I've been seeing these projects where people are just kind of layering boxes on top of each other, and I just really like the look and the texture of that. So this is what I'm thinking I'll do just at the bottom so it doesn't overwhelm the page. So I went into my stash of cardstock. I really went into my scrap bin to pull pages for this. So I really loved finding these black and white pieces that I usually like to incorporate in my pages. Like, I really love incorporating just a bit of black and white into my projects. I've been doing that for several years now, and I don't know, something about it makes them seem just so much more graphic, and I love it. And then I pulled, just like I said, scraps from my bin. None of these are full 12 by 12 pieces anymore because they've been used for various other projects. But I pulled them out in purples, reds, and yellow, and I did that based only on these photos. So this obviously had a lot of red and a lot of yellow. This guy had purple, and then this one's pretty neutral, kind of black and white and browns. But I just thought this was kind of a fun twist on like a traditional Halloween page. You know, we definitely see the green, the orange, and the purple together, and I just really liked this. And also, I will use any excuse to use purple because I love purple. It's my second favorite color. I love all shades of purple, and so I'm excited to be able to incorporate some purple into my project. I'm thinking though, for the like actual background, I'm going to do it on white cardstock so that I'm able to stamp and I'm able to use like the fun colored inks to do that. And then at the bottom, this part, I mean, this is just like a placeholder. This part will be where all of the various colors are. And so it'll sit kind of like this. This bottom part will be decorated. I'll probably decorate like up into the top part here. And then it'll just have a nice wide chunky black border. I don't know, I just really wanted to utilize some black in here too because it's Halloween and you know there's a lot of black, and especially this year when we did kind of like a haunted orphanage asylum type thing for our theme that year. And what else? So I have this idea to put down at the bottom some cardstock and some stamped cardstock as well. And then I thought I could also incorporate some smaller photos from these 3 different years just in amongst the cardstock. I don't know if I'll use these or not, but they're pretty darn cute, so hopefully I'll be able to incorporate them. And then I just pulled some of these labels that I have from Studio Calico, just in case. I might mix them in at the bottom there. I may use them elsewhere, but that is the overall plan that I have for this one. So I think we can get started.
The first thing I did was pull that Ghoul Gang stamp and just repeat stamp it over and over and over and over again using black ink on this yellow cardstock. I tried to figure out like where I thought that the die cut was going to come out, but I was off by just a little bit, so I had to add a few more stamps there before I pulled them up off of the cutting mat. And so now I have my title all ready to go. It's a pretty big title, so I want to make sure that everything is going to fit in the area that I have there. And so before I hear anything down, I'm just kind of laying things out to make sure that they're going to work. The next step I take is grabbing the stamp set and stamping directly onto the back of that white cardstock that I'm using as my background, using a few different shades of of purple ink, stamp ink. I ended up stamping those ghosts in a visual triangle around my photo strip in 3 different places, basically, is what that means. I varied up the stamping as I was stamping each of these little clusters of ghosts. So in one, there's a large dark purple ghost, and the other, there is a large light purple ghost, and so on and so forth. Then I went back to the stamp set and added in some sparkles. I love me some sparkles. If you've seen any of my videos lately, you'll see that I've been adding tons of sparkles. I just love the extra detail that it adds, and it's a great filler piece. So for me, it's almost like a flat enamel dot, which is what I usually end up finishing my pages off with. But in this case, I was able to use that stamp. I'm using a T ruler to make sure that I'm adhering my title onto the page straight. I don't need it to be perfect, but I just don't want it to be, super wonky. And once I had adhered those letters down, I just felt like they were missing something. So I grabbed my Sharpie pen and outlined them very carefully because I'm horrible at that, just to ground them into the layout. And I think that was just the final touch that I needed to add that to that part of the layout. Then I went back to the stamp set and I grabbed the label with the skull that was included on it. I thought it was so cute, and also one of the jumping off points for when I was putting this layout together. And I had an idea about where I had wanted those labels to go, but it just wasn't working for me. So once I cut them out, I play with them a little bit and then I set them aside to figure out where I'm going to put them in the end. And you'll see that in the final video where they end up. And then I'm finishing off the bottom third of the layout using all of these scraps from my scrap bin. I am cutting long rectangles from the various pattern papers and cardstock sheets, and I'm intentionally not cutting them straight. I'm cutting them a little wonky. I don't know. I just kind of like that. I think it adds a little bit more whimsy, and it's not meant to be extremely perfect. And that is absolutely the look that I was going for. So I'm just playing around trying to figure out the best placement and the best balance for all of the different colors and also the pattern papers as well. I intentionally am gluing down all of the bottom row of pattern papers and then pattern papers and or cardstocks, but everything on the top row I'm curling up slightly using just a paintbrush from my stash. I'm wrapping the paper around that so that it curls up just a little bit on the edge, and I like that additional texture that it adds to the page. And I know that I had originally wanted to include some smaller photos, but it didn't work out on this one. But that's okay. I like how it turned out. And here's the finished page. I just love how it came together, and I think my favorite part about it is the color combo. But for info on the product I used, check out the links in the description box on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like it and or subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you. Jamie Makes signing off.